It doesn't matter that I'm 20 below the recommended power for a Master Nightfall, this build is going to cause complete chaos. You'll have a ridiculous amount of DPS increase, hardly ever have to reload, and be able to shoot almost infinitely. Champions will no longer be a problem, you'll pretty much have infinite heavy ammo, and it's actually a pretty fun one. So YouTube, my name is Divide, and this is your new Titan build for Season 14, using some of the new seasonal mods, but this build is designed to be universal, so you can use it in any future season that you may be watching this in, but it just may not be as effective. This build is currently designed for Season 14, or Season of the Splicer. So guys, as always, rate, comment, sub, share, and intro. Now briefly before we start, if you're new around here, I do these videos every week, and there is a new Season 14 class build playlist if you want to see more like this. See the card on screen, link below, or the comments. Now let's officially start. So as you can probably tell, this is a Titan build designed to work in Master Nightfalls whilst underleveled and Grandmaster Nightfalls. The background gameplay here is a Master 1340 Nightfall whilst I am 1320, so you can see how it performs in action. Now like most builds, you won't be invincible. You will still die in a few shots like any other build, it's just the way it is. But this is probably by far my best and favourite build to use in endgame Master Nightfalls and Empire hunts, and actually even a Vault of Glass raid. But for your loadout, we will be using a new Chroma Rush Auto Rifle, and ideally you want the God Rule. So if you want to see a video for that, I'll link that below as well. And we will be pairing this with any energy weapon of your choice to suit the activity you're going into, along with Anarchy. But you can also use Xenophage as well, because we are going to be using the Actium War Rig Exotic armor, which we'll get to shortly. But for the purpose of a 1340 Master Fallen Saber Nightfall, whilst under power, we will be using a new Chroma Rush as our main weapon and to take down barrier shields, Ikilos SMG specifically for Overload champions and any arc shields, and Anarchy for our main DPS. Now usually I'd go against having two primary weapons, but for Season 14 specifically, it's actually not that bad considering we have new mods that pretty much make special weapons not really needed. But that is our loadout we are going with, and of course you will need to adjust your energy weapon to suit the activity you're playing. Now for the subclass we are going with Stasis, but you can use a top tree Void for more DPS if you wish to. I prefer the Stasis because it makes life so much easier when fighting Overload champions and when adds a swarm on you in those harder activities. So go ahead and pop on a Tower Barricade with that, and we'll also be using a Dust-Filled Grenade. For your Stasis aspects, we'll be using a Cryoclasm and Diamond Lance. Then for our Fragments, we'll be running Whisper of Torment for extra grenade energy when taking damage, and Whisper of Refraction to generate class energy when defeating frozen or slowed enemies. And this setup for me works really well in these activities, and honestly, you'll be surprised how many times I came close to dying, but because of these Fragments giving me constant abilities, I'm able to save myself with Dust-Filled Grenades and Barricades, so it's definitely worth using. However, moving into our armor, for the helmet we'll be running high energy fire as our charge of light mod, because you want to do as much DPS as possible, especially when you're underpowered or you're going to be there for hours unloading your clip into minor adds. But alongside that, because we are going to be relying on Anarchy a lot, we'll need a ton of ammo, so stick on a grenade launcher of Ammo Finder. For your gauntlets, go Shield Break Charge to become Charge of Light, then your champion mods for the activity. In this case it's Anti-Barrier Auto and Overload SMG, but with this build here you're also able to replace the Overload with an Unstoppable GL if you need to. Of course, if you're watching this in a different season, put on whatever mods you have available. Now for the chest, we're running Actium War Rig, and guys, this thing is no joke. Use this if you're going to be using Chroma Rush or any auto rifle and machine gun, because this will reload your auto rifle's mag from reserves, making you pretty much able to continuously shoot non-stop. And if you have a subsistence perk, perhaps you never have to reload. Someone let me know if you have one to test that out. But with this, we'll of course be using double grenade launcher reserves to make our Anarchy hold up to 31 rounds. For the legs, we'll be running Taken Charge as well as the Shield Break Charge, and this should help you consistently stay Charge of Light more often for that extra DPS, and then Grenade Launcher Scavenger for bonus reserves on ammo pickup. And you get a cheap one this season, but if it isn't available from the artifact, then just use the standard one. But finally for the class, smash on that Breach and Clear, because this thing is no joke. What this does is give you and your team a 30% damage debuff that weakens enemies, and you activate this by hitting a boss with your Anarchy or any grenade launcher which lasts 10 seconds. It doesn't stack with other debuffs like Tether or Divinity though. But you will be able to use it alongside a Weapons of Light Bubble or Well of Radiance, so you will be able to deal with a 35% damage buff as well as the 30% damage debuff whilst you have a DPS weapon on top, which then means your team can use DPS supers and other things instead of support supers like Tether. Now the best part about this mod for me is that whilst you've just stopped a champion and applied the debuff and passive DPS with Anarchy, that will then reload your weapon that you just used to stun a champion, meaning that you're ready to stun again or deal extra DPS. By far my favourite part, and you could even use 2 grenade launchers if you want and continuously swap and reload each weapon automatically with continuous debuffs, but I've not had time to test that out. So do let me know if that works or not, but I thought that was worth mentioning. But lastly, you want to go with max discipline so we can get our dusk-filled grenade back as fast as possible, and you want to ideally throw these at overload champions right before they come out of a stun, so that will give you time to quickly restun again, because in those master activities you'll have a hard time with them if you're underpowered like I was. So overall, I do like this build, and I'd rate this a good 10 out of 10 for how effective it is in those endgame activities whilst underpowered. Just remember that you still need to play it safe and stay back, but if you are over the recommended power, then you're going to absolutely destroy everything with this setup. So guys, that is all for this new Titan build. Next, you should check out my other builds in the playlist, the link is below. For now, give this one a try and let me know what you think or how it performs for you, and I'll see you all in the next build.